What if the Titanic had AI? Let's be real. If there's one story that everyone knows, it's the Titanic. Giant ship, supposedly unsinkable. Then boom, iceberg, chaos, heartbreak. But here's the thing no one really asks. What if the Titanic had artificial intelligence? I'm not talking about killer robots or talking computers. I'm talking real-time data, neural networks, predictive modeling, stuff we already have in 2025. Could AI have seen that iceberg coming? Could it have saved 1,500 lives? Let's unpack this. And heads up, it might change the way you look at history. Rewinding to 1912. A floating palace with no Wi-Fi. Before we go full sci-fi, let's anchor ourselves in 1912 for a second. The Titanic was the marvel of its time. It was luxurious, massive, and stacked with the best engineering the early 20th century could offer. But even with all that, the ship had no satellite tracking, no real-time weather updates, no radar, and let's be honest, a dangerously overconfident crew. What it did have, Morse code and binoculars, that's about it. Now imagine taking that ship and giving it the kind of tech you find in your average smartphone today. Yeah, this is where it gets wild. Today's ships run on data, and a lot of it fast forward to now. Ships are basically floating data centers. They're using AI-powered systems that track everything from ocean currents to fuel usage. You've got AIS, automatic identification systems, tracking location and movement, radar and sonar systems mapping out obstacles in real-time machine learning models, predicting weather patterns, and even autonomous navigation algorithms adjusting routes without human input. So if Titanic was a 1912 cruise liner, modern ships are more like sentient beings quietly calculating risk 24/7. And honestly, the iceberg wouldn't have stood a chance. AI's first move? Iceberg detection done right. The Titanic didn't see the iceberg until it was too late. Literally. The lookout didn't have binoculars, and visibility was poor. Now let's bring in AI. Today's AI-driven radar and satellite imagery can detect icebergs from hundreds of kilometers away. Using infrared, thermal imaging, and sonar mapping, even submerged threats are trackable. There's a system called Sentinel-1, a satellite that can track ice movements in the Arctic. Combine that with machine learning, and it can even predict iceberg drift paths based on wind and temperature patterns. Let me put it like this. AI wouldn't just see the iceberg, it would have known where it was going before it even got there. Honestly, we don't even need a futuristic AI for this. Just the tools we use to track fishing vessels today would have been enough. Rerouting before impact. Smart navigation. Here's the cool part. Modern navigation isn't just about avoiding danger, it's about choosing the best route in real time. If AI was on board the Titanic, it would have constantly analyzed iceberg reports, weather system, ship speed, and turn, radius, nighttime visibility conditions. The ship could have been automatically rerouted hours before it even got close to danger. Think of it like Google Maps yelling, "Road hazard ahead, rerouting," but for the ocean. That little voice might have saved thousands of lives. Real-time decision-making beats human delay. Now I get it. People say, but Yassine, the Titanic did get iceberg warnings. True. They got multiple warnings via Morse code. The problem? Those warnings weren't prioritized. In fact, one of the operators reportedly told another ship to shut up because the radio was too busy with passenger messages. You know what wouldn't have made that mistake? AI doesn't get annoyed. It doesn't sleep. And it doesn't downplay critical alerts to finish dinner service. An AI assistant, like IBM's Watson or even something like OpenAI's Tech, would have flagged those messages, prioritized them, and rerouted the ship without drama. Human error. Could AI have saved us from ourselves? Now this is where it gets tricky. The biggest factor in the Titanic disaster wasn't just the iceberg. It was human error. Ignoring warnings. Going too fast. Not enough lifeboats. Poor emergency protocol. So would AI have fixed that? Maybe not all of it. But here's what it could have done. Enforce speed caps based on visibility and ice risk run simulations of evacuation plans based on passenger density. Calculate optimal lifeboat usage in real time, trigger early warnings not just to the crew, but to everyone on board. Even now, maritime AI systems are being trained to recognize early signs of crew fatigue, poor decision-making, and even emotional distress. That's right. Some AI models analyze voice tone and behavior to predict human error before it happens. Titanic could have used that. Evacuation. Not just tech, timing, communication, chaos, let's say, worst case scenario. Titanic still hits the iceberg. AI wouldn't stop there. It would kick into emergency optimization mode. We're talking Passenger distribution algorithms that get people to lifeboats faster, smart lighting, guiding people through the corridors, load balancing on lifeboats to prevent capsizing, and even voice assistants giving real-time instructions. Think Alexa, but screaming, "Go to deck B." In 1912, the evacuation was pure chaos. Many didn't even realize the ship was sinking until it was too late. AI would have removed the guesswork, but could they have trusted it? The cultural barrier. Now let's slow down. Even if AI had been around, would the people of 1912 have listened to it? Remember, this was a time when electricity was still considered sketchy. The idea of a machine making life and death decisions? Not exactly comforting. It's kind of like how some folks today still don't trust Teslas on autopilot. But that's the paradox. AI can save us from ourselves, but only if we let it. The Titanic crew might have ignored it, or overridden it. And honestly, that might have been the final mistake. So, would AI have saved the Titanic? Probably. Not guaranteed, but probably. Because here's the thing, AI doesn't panic. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't get prideful or distracted. It just does what it's programmed to do. Protect, calculate, alert, and maybe, just maybe, that would have been enough to rewrite history. Final thought, ghosts of code and steel. Today, we've got autonomous cargo ships, AI co-pilots, and maritime systems so advanced they'd make Titanic look like a wooden raft. And yet, disasters still happen. Because even with AI, humans are still in the loop, and sometimes we're the weakest link. So maybe the lesson isn't just that AI could have saved the Titanic. Maybe it's that we should stop ignoring the tools we already have before the next iceberg hits. If you liked this video, smash that like button like it's an iceberg, but, metaphorically. Subscribe for more mind-bending AI what-ifs, and tell us in the comments, what other historical disasters could AI have prevented? Let's geek out together.